Hey everyone, this is Daniel and Kelly from fitnessblender.com, and we have a lower body workout today for you. We're going through 2 sets of every single exercise, and we're going to be doing 10 repetitions per set.
All you're going to need for this routine is a set of dumbbells, and even if you don't have them, doing this workout with just your body weight still makes for a very effective routine.
If you do it with just body weight though, you might want to increase the number of repetitions. So instead of doing 10, maybe even double it up to 20, but that's just going to be kind of up to you. But otherwise, the motion is exactly the same.
So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a short cardio warm-up, so go ahead and start moving your feet. It's kind of nice and light, get moving a little bit.
Just a nice little boxer shuffle. Remember, stay up on the tip of your toe as much as you can. Move relatively quickly, but this is still just part of the warm-up, so you don't have to go really, really fast.
All right, let's step it up a notch. Keep yourself in the butt. Butt kickers. Pretty literal here.
So keep those lungs open, don't hold your breath. Nice quick motion. Again, this is still a warm-up, so you don't have to kill yourself.
All right, let's stop, plant your feet. We'll just do a basic circle down to one toe, over to the other, and then stand back up, and then go back down in the opposite direction.
Really take your time to really stretch those muscles out just a little bit. You want to give actually a little extra range of motion before you get started. If you start this off of cold muscles, that range of motion is going to be limited a little bit. So definitely take your time, really work on that full range of motion.
All right, how about some basic body weight squats?
Sure.
So sink down. You can keep it nice and shallow in the beginning here as your muscles are warming up. Just sink lower and lower.
Even though you're not using any weight for this, remember to always focus on good clean form, which basically is a perfectly flat back. Feel like you're actually kind of pushing your chest out to the wall in front of you. So keep that back nice and flat, and then you also want to mimic the angle of your chest and torso with the angle of your shin. So if your angle of the shin and chest are the same, then you're doing a squat right.
All right, what's next?
All right, let's do a few to open up those hip flexors. So nice and slow, you're gonna draw that knee up, out to the side, tap that foot, bring it right back in, and then switch over, do the same thing on the other side. So out, tap, and back in. So speed it up just a little bit as you do this.
I'm gonna fall over.
Keep those lungs open, keep those legs moving. Like I said, speed it up as you feel comfortable with it, as you feel like you're getting a little bit more range of motion out of it. That's the main, most important thing is you're trying to push that range of motion. So get that knee up as high as you can and out to the side as far as you can. And then you can always speed it up after that.
All right. I was going to say front jacks, but we'll probably hit each other.
Yeah.
Let's go up. Get our hearts pumping a little faster. It's weird to work out with somebody next to you. Their rhythm and their breathing.
Actually, we typically do our workouts by ourselves.
Yeah. Ironically.
Ironically, yeah. We spend enough time together for the rest of the day.
The other person's on the couch like, no, you go work out. Alright, what do you think?
Let's do
Warmed up?
one more.
Okay, what do you got?
We're doing a nice little bit of a leg kick. So one leg at a time, swing it out in front, try to touch that toe a little bit behind you, but not much. Just nice and slow.
Are you doing one foot?
I'm just doing one foot, sorry.
Okay.
I don't have enough room.
I missed the memo. I'm leading the rebellion. Not anymore.
You always try to do what you want.
I know.
Just a couple more. And switch sides.
Alright. That's where things get complicated.
Use that opposite hand.
Okay.
One more. And let it relax. All right, go into a little bit of a boxer shuffle. Don't let that heart rate drop now that you're nice and warmed up. So let's get ready for the actual routine here. So like we said, or like Kelly said, you can use this with weight or without. You don't even necessarily have to use dumbbells. Our first exercise is going to be a traditional lunge, and we're going to be doing it alternating. So left leg out, then right leg out. So go ahead and select whichever weight you want to use for that. Let's get ready to start in.
I've got 9 pounds per hand for this.
And I'm using 35 per hand for this.
Okay,
So
ready?
just nice and slow, step it out. Try to get that knee as close to the ground as is comfortable. And right back up.
Turn here.
Keep that back perfectly straight up and down. Keep those lungs open. The further you step forward, the harder it's going to be. So just go as far as is comfortable. The more weight you use, you might need to limit that range of motion a little bit at first until you get stronger. But the goal is to always increase that range of motion before you increase your weight. Almost done, I think.
Yeah, I think we have 2 more on each side. 1 more on each side. There you go.
Relax. I'm going to drop those weights for a second. Come back up into that jog in place. Now with traditional strength training, a lot of people like to take a really long break in between sets. You can do that if you want to, just hit pause. Our breaks are going to be just a little bit shorter. So, with that said, let's go ahead and do round number 2.
Right.
Same weight, same exercise. Unless your form was starting to suffer and you need to drop weight, just do the same thing you did last time.
Here we go.
All right.
Pull in your belly. Keep your core nice and tight. So if your legs aren't burning by now, you know you need a heavier weight the second time around. 7. There's 8. It's a couple more on each leg. Whew.
Last one.
All right.
Whew. Okay. Back up, jog in place. That was our first 2 sets, or our only 2 sets for that exercise, which means we're moving on to our next, which is going to be a traditional deadlift. So you can either do it with knees bent, or Kelly and I usually like doing a straight leg deadlift with your knees almost locked out. So do whichever one you want, but go ahead and pick your weight for that. Let's get started.
So I'm using 24 per hand for this. So 48 total. All right.
So nice flat back. Make sure you constantly flatten that back out. Don't let it round. Only bending from that hip. Slight bend in your knee and start up. Straight down. Right back up. Just back just a little bit. Keep those lungs open. As far down as you can go. Remember, if you're doing a traditional deadlift, you can let those knees bend a little bit more. If you're doing a straight leg deadlift like us, then you want to keep those legs almost perfectly locked out the entire time.
It's your halfway point. Move nice and slow and really enjoy the burn through the entire range of motion here. Squeeze your glutes to pull yourself back up. You should really be feeling this in that booty. I think this is 8, but don't quote me.
This is what happens when both of us are working out and no one's counting.
Oh well, what does an extra rep hurt, right?
All right.
There you go. Shake it out for a second.
Keep those feet moving. No rest in between. We like doing active recovery. Number 1, it trains your body to actually recover while under stress. So increases your cardiovascular rate. but it also burns extra calories. So who doesn't want to burn a few extra calories?
This is the sit around at the gym playing on your cell phone in between sets workout.
Staring yourself in the mirror, flexing.
Yeah, kissing you.
All right, let's go and do round number 2 of those deadlifts. And start them up. Straight down. Keep that back nice and flat. You're going to have a tendency to want to round that back as you get tired. But make sure it stays perfectly flat, because as soon as you round that back, you get into a really, really vulnerable spot for that lower back. You could injure it.
It's halfway.
Ooh, as you can tell, my knees are starting to bend just a little bit more. Try to get that range of motion. So try to lock them out. Try to get that range of motion through.
Here's our last one.
Ooh, and relax. Try to get that range of motion through the actual motion as opposed to letting yourself cheat a little bit, which is exactly what I was doing. So your body's designed to cheat. It wants to try to cheat. So it's going to try to find any way it can to make that range of motion easier for you, to make the weight feel lighter, that kind of thing. So you have to constantly be checking yourself. Even like Kelly and I, we've been doing this for years and years and years, and our body still cheats. So don't think that you're better than your body, because your body will cheat for you.
It's sneaky.
It's very sneaky.
Your body is a total sandbagger. All right, next up, we have squats. It's a basic squat. I'm going to be using 15 pounds a hand.
Ooh, I'm going to stick with my 50.
Ooh.
I'm going to keep mine low. Kelly has hers up high. Doesn't matter. Form is pretty much identical. Force is pretty much identical, so just do whatever's most comfortable.
You ready?
Yep, start them up. Again, you want to be focusing on that form. For a squat, that back needs to be nice and flat. And that chest, the angle of your chest and the angle of your shins needs to be as identical as possible.
That's halfway.
Keep those lungs open.
Two more.
Get those feet moving again. So, like we said before, keep that same exact weight if that was challenging for you, if it's starting to get rough towards the end. If it's too easy, you can go up. If your form is suffering, go down.
But make sure you're pushing yourself. If you're to rep 7 and you're still kind of like, this is too easy, it's rep 7, 7 and 8 where you're really struggling to finish those repetitions.
Yeah.
Without, like you said, without sacrificing form. Are you ready?
Yep.
Start in squats, and we'll take a quick water break.
All right, start them up.
Here we go. Find a spot on the wall in front of you to stare at to make sure you're keeping your head up. Not collapsing into yourself or rounding your shoulders.
A little over halfway. Two more.
Last one.
Wow. All right. Set those weights down. Get those feet moving. If you want to, pause it right here. Grab a drink of water. We'll be back in just a second. All right, guys, we're back, and oh my gosh, I don't know about you, but I can totally feel that now. Oh my gosh.
Totes my thighs are like, oh my god, I'm fired.
But seriously, we won't do that to you.
No, I'm
Really.
just kidding.
But we do have another exercise coming up, which is going to be side lunges. Now this one is much more difficult than a traditional lunge because you put a lot of weight on just one leg. So I'm gonna be dropping my weight quite a bit. I don't know if you're,
me too.
yeah. So just select the weight you want to be using. If you've never done this before, just take our word for it. Go light for your first time. All right, so side lunge as it is. But we're gonna do an alternating left and right. So you're gonna start with those feet really nice and wide. Just alternate back and forth. You're not gonna bring those feet back together in the center.
Are we doing 10 times each side?
Oh, we might as well.
Let's make that decision now before we don't want to.
Yeah, 10 times each side.
Ready?
All right, start them up. And as you can see, Kelly and I are doing this slightly differently. There's no difference really as far as the effort goes in those legs, but it is just a personal preference. Keep that back perfectly flat, just like a traditional lunge or squat.
This might even be a pretty small range of motion. It takes some flexibility to get into that really deep lunge in this position.
That's right. And if you can't quite get that full range, don't worry, just go as far as is comfortable for you. You can always work on flexibility later.
The last on each side. All right, there we go.
All right. Get those feet moving again.
So it's like we told you before, if this is too easy, if you're really just kind of halfway sleeping through this, you can do high knees, you can do burpees, you can do whatever you want during these active rests. Just make sure that it's not going to interfere with your weightlifting too badly.
That's right. You can get a lot more calorie burn by doing a lot more intense active rest, or by turning into not a rest at all by doing burpees or high knees. But if you are tying yourself out doing that, you might not have as much strength to do your strength training routine or that exercise, or your form might suffer a little bit. So you just have to pick which one's more important to you, that's all.
All right, here we go. Weights. Ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Keep those lungs open.
Four. And halfway. There's something cruel about them only counting for half reps now. So much. 7.
Keep that form
Last
clean.
one.
Whew. All right.
Alright.
Okay. Let's keep those feet moving again. We are doing just a regular calf raise next. We're splitting this up, just one side and then the other. So 1 foot at a time. If body weight is enough for you doing 1 foot, then just do body weight. If you want extra, grab just one dumbbell and you want it on the opposite side of your body that you're using that leg. So if you're going up on your left leg, or your left leg, you're gonna hold it in your right hand. I've always had trouble with left and right.
You ready?
Let's do
The
it.
left makes an L, babe. There's your cheat.
All right, so I'm starting on my right leg, holding a dumbbell in my left hand. You can do both if you want to, it just makes it a little bit harder for balance.
Actually, you know what I'm going to do? If your balance does stink, do both feet at the same time, but double the weight.
All right. Also, if you need to do this next to a wall or chair or some other piece of furniture that will help you stabilize yourself, that's fine as well. Doing it without that extra help will actually make it much more difficult for that ankle complex and that calf and actually get you a lot more out of it.
Here's the last one. Slowly back down. Alright.
Alright, get those feet moving again. So Kelly's going to be doing both feet again. I'm going to be doing single leg again, still on the right side.
You ready?
Yep.
You're going to find into it?
Sure.
Get it over with.
That's right.
Alright.
Let's do it.
Okay. Try to really do this motion consciously and deliberately. Try to not just jerk up there and count
Right.
that as a rep. Do it really slow and make your muscles work.
The slower you go, it forces that muscle to actually have to work all the way through that range of motion, rather than just a real quick snap at the beginning and then a coast through the rest. Woo, I'm kind of falling over here. That's what we get for trying to do this and talk at the same time. Youch.
Okay.
Wow. You'll definitely notice as those ankles get tired, your form's going to suffer.
Oh, it burns.
All right.
All right, what's next?
Same thing on the other leg.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do. Okay,
You get to do two. You get to do two more.
They're already burning too. It's gonna be good. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's like a calf burnout round here. Okay.
Yeah, you get to suffer with Kelly if you follow her. All right. Again, go nice and slow. Try to move that range of motion as completely as you can, but as slowly as you can. Keep those lungs open, keep that chest straight up and down. Whew.
Suck in your gut and squeeze your booty. Make everything work.
That's right. You can make these exercises burn twice as many calories if you're conscious about keeping everything else contracted.
Do one more.
More?
Yeah, I'm cooperating everywhere. Be careful going downstairs.
Alright, we got one more set of this on the other side, or a fourth set for Kelly if you're following with both legs. Just keep those lungs open, try to recover as best you can, try to let those calves kind of stretch out, relax a little bit while doing this boxer shuffle as much as you can anyway.
You ready?
Alright, let's do that last one.
Okay.
Alright,
Here we go.
start them up. As you can see, I'm cheating quite a bit, leaning up against the wall. My ankles are tired enough that I'm just wobbling all over. Whew.
Hi, Mom.
One more?
Right.
Relax.
Here you go.
Okay. Alright, set the dumbbell down, get those feet moving again. We have our next exercise is going to be leg raises. These last two exercises are actually going to be on the ground. So we're going to pause real quick. We're going to grab some mats, get set up for that. If you don't need a mat, then just select your weight. Most people are not going to need weight for this. So we'll be right back. Okay, so second to last exercise is leg raises. You're going to be doing this both legs at the same time. Kelly's going to be doing or showing a modification here. You can do single leg if you want to. I'm doing the harder version of this with both legs, which is actually using a weight. So you just squeeze it between your feet. It requires a lot of inner thigh strength, so if you don't have it, don't put a weight between your feet because you're going to drop it on yourself. So this is the hardest version. You can do it without weight, or you can do single leg without weight like Kelly's doing. So squeeze it, hands down by your butt, but not underneath. Contract those abs, bring those legs up and back down. Hover it if you can, right back up.
Try not to cheat. Help yourself out here with your hands under your butt. You can, if you want to make it easier, just do single leg drops. One at a time. It makes it quite a lot easier. Especially if you lack any kind of strength in your lower back. This is a smart modification.
Almost done. Got a few more repetitions.
You should be feeling this in your legs and your abs.
One more. And back down nice and slow. Woo, let it relax. That hurts. So,
weight training.
yeah, just so you know, this is only 5 pounds. This whole thing is only 5 pounds. So the amount of weight you use needs to be tiny, because when you put it all the way out to the end of your legs, that leverage is ridiculous. It makes that 5 pounds feel like it's 25. So just take your time with it. I'm going to try to get through another full set with just this. We'll see if I manage to complete it. All right, flat back, legs contracted, and start it up.
Make sure you're not holding your breath. It's really tempting doing this exercise.
Very tempting. Anything that engages your core muscles, your abdominal muscles really tightly, always makes you feel like you want to hold your breath. Whew, gosh.
Hang in there.
Okay, I gotta drop that off. That hurts. Almost done. There's 2 more.
Ooh.
Last one. Whew. All right. Let that one relax. Our next one is going to be hip bridges. You can either do this with a single leg or you can do it with both legs. Because the single leg is so difficult, we're only going to be doing left leg for 1 rep or 1 set and right leg for 1 set. Or you can do both legs for 2 sets, whichever you prefer. I'm going to use a little extra weight for this one.
So 4 sets of these total if you're doing both feet down? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm doing
No.
both feet on the ground with 15 pounds.
Just 2 sets. I'm just doing a single set for a single leg.
I think we should do 4.
Oh, you want to do 4? Oh, guess what, guys? You just got more workout.
Sorry. I love these. They're so good for your butt.
Oy. Okay, so if you're using weight, put that weight on top of your hips, not on your legs. If you're doing a single leg, one leg comes up to a tabletop position, the other leg stays down, tucked in as close as comfortable to your butt.
Same thing if you're using both feet, just tuck them in as close to your butt as you can. Get ready to push up through those heels. Ready?
You ready? Yep. Let's do it.
Here we go.
Whew, this is gonna hurt.
Inhale on the way down. Exhale as you press up.
Otherwise, just keep those lungs open. 2 more. Last one. Whew. Oh, let it relax. Oh, let those legs shake out for just a second. Since Kelly is a glutton for punishment, we're going to be doing that another time, single leg on the right leg if you're following a single leg.
Ready?
Yep. As much as I'm ever going to be ready.
Yep. Here we go. There's 1.
Keep those lungs open.
Never rest your butt on the mat. You're just kind of hovering over the ground there. Never let your muscles relax completely.
Unless you have to give out.
That's okay too.
Easy for you to say.
I know.
Oh, wow, that burns.
Where are we at?
That's number 9. 1 more. Ouch. Ouch.
There we go.
Okay, so that's 2 sets for my right leg, which means now we gotta do 2 sets for the left leg, which for me is my weak side, so this should hurt even more on my left side than it did on my right. Yay! Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's start it up. Again, keep those lungs open. Try not to push into your toes when you're doing this. So you see both Kelly and I are actually kind of lifting our toes up off the ground just a little bit. And that's just to keep us from overusing our calves. Because if you go up onto your tiptoe for this, your calves will cramp up on you like crazy.
Here's the last rep for this one. Oh my gosh.
Ouch! Oh.
So whose idea was it to do 4 sets?
That responsibility is all yours. Okay, we got 1 more set of these. This is our last exercise. Let's go ahead and get it done. No waiting around. Okay, you ready? All right, start them up. Oh, man, that burns.
That's halfway.
Oh my gosh.
The audio on this probably sounds pretty weird. Is that 9?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the last one.
Ouch. Oh. All right.
Oh,
Set that weight off to the side. Whew. We are completely done with this part of the workout. We have our cool down to do next, though. You got to make sure those legs don't cramp up on you the next few hours. So we're gonna pause here real quick, get the camera reset up. We'll start into our cool down. All right, everybody. This is the cool down portion. We're gonna start by keeping that heart rate up just a little bit higher. So go ahead and get those feet moving as much as you probably don't want to do this right now. Too bad. Do it anyway. So just a regular shuffle, boxer shuffle or jog in place. Just to keep that blood flowing around for just a little bit longer. Nice full deep breaths. Go ahead and slow it down. We're just going to do a walk in place. Just get those feet moving. Just a slow high knee march. Don't even worry about really necessarily getting them all the way up to your hip socket. Just kind of wherever's comfortable as far as what those legs can handle currently. Nice full deep breath. Letting that blood continue to circulate around your body, trying to get as much oxygen back into your system as possible. And go ahead and let that one relax. We're going to do a regular straight leg hang. So feet together, about shoulder width apart or so. I'm just going to go straight down, start with a flat back. So back perfectly flat. Go down as far as you can. Really feel it in those hamstrings. Hold it here for just a second. No touching your thighs, no helping to brace or anything like that. Nice flat back. Try to let those hamstring muscles and those glute muscles stretch as much as possible. And round that back, go ahead and go all the way down. Keep those lungs open.
don't feel bad if you can't reach very far.
Yeah.
Everybody starts somewhere, and wherever, just go to the point where you don't feel any pain.
And go ahead and stand back up. Nice full extension. We're going to do quadriceps next to the front of that thigh, one leg at a time. Leaning up against a wall if you need that extra support. Bring that foot back to same hand as foot, or same side, left leg, left hand. Squeeze it back to that heel and pull that knee back behind you as far as you can. I look at my lovely wife snickering at me because I can't speak straight. So chest straight up and tall. You don't want to lean over forward. No hinging from your hip. All that is just coming through the front of that hip, the one you have pulled back. And go ahead and switch sides. Other leg comes up. Same exact thing on the other side. If you can do this without leaning against a wall, that's great. It just makes that calf have to work a little bit harder for balance. Otherwise, you can always lean against something to get a better stretch if your balance is a little off.
Especially after a workout, once
Yeah.
you've kind of already depleted all of your carbohydrates and muscles are all shaky.
You can hardly
It's a little
blame
harder to
yourself.
balance,
Yeah. And let that one relax. Those feet are going to go nice and wide. We're going to do inside thigh next, so one knee is going to bend. You're going to lean back towards your straight leg, hand up over top of your head to get a little extra stretch to your torso. Should be feeling it in the inside thigh, the leg you have straight, the one you're leaning towards.
And your shoulders.
Yeah.
And that arm that's over your head, that feels nice. Even though we didn't work the upper body.
And switch sides. Other knee bends, other leg stays straight, leaning the opposite direction. And come back to the center. Keep those legs out nice and wide. You're going to go straight down to the center. Reach down towards the ground. If you're really flexible, you might even be able to try to push those elbows down towards the ground, but whatever's most comfortable. Just go as far as a stretch as is comfortable for you. And let that one relax. You want to walk us through the stuff on the ground?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for, actually let's hold in one leg, kick out the opposite leg, and then reach down towards that toe. Keep the toes of that foot pointed up towards the ceiling.
Show off.
Alright, now stay in the same position, but lean over that opposite leg, kind of like you're trying to lean away from yourself. Alright, go ahead and switch the positions of your legs. Take that opposite foot out and pull down towards those toes.
Now the main thing on this one is actually trying to keep that leg straight. So if you're bending that knee and getting a lot of range of motion down towards your foot, you're actually not focusing on that hamstring as well as if you have that leg locked out. So definitely lock it out and stretch out that way.
Alright, lean over that opposite leg. That's what we got here. Let's do a cobra stretch.
Cobra?
We'll go up into a high plank first. First, we'll stay here for just a second. I lied. Stretch out the calf muscles. So, go into that high plank, and you can rest the other leg on top of that leg that you're stretching.
Just try to shove that heel down to the ground as much as you can.
And switch sides. At this point, your core is like, my workout is over. I don't want to do this right now. I thought we were stretching. Alright, now lower yourself down to the mat. And press up for a nice cobra stretch.
You might even get a few bones to pop into place.
Yeah.
Try to push through those hands and get as much arch as you can.
Press back into a child's pose.
Sit back on those heels.
Alright, next we're going to lay flat on our backs and do a deep glute stretch. Really good stretch after a lower body intensive routine. So, cross one foot over the leg of the other and pull it in.
Remember to grab behind your thigh and not over the top of your shin. If you grab over your shin, you're actually going to compress that knee when you pull in. So grab behind that thigh, pull from there.
Take some nice deep breaths while you're here. Your workout for the day is done. Mission accomplished. Let's switch sides. That is one of my favorite times of the day, though. I just feel really productive if I've done the workout time, you know? I am on top of things. It's the message. Alright, now straighten back up and fold one leg over the other so you get a nice torso stretch here. Keep your shoulders flat on the ground.
Looking back over your shoulder away from the leg you're leaning, the direction you're leaning.
Alright, switch sides. Alright, let's end with a full body stretch.
So pressing those hands and feet in opposite directions as you take a nice deep breath in. Arch that back up. Press those hands and feet in opposite directions. And exhale. Let it relax. One more time. Inhale. Arch that back up. Press those hands and feet in opposite directions. Wiggle them out as far as you can go. And exhale. That feels pretty good. Let's do that one more time.
Amen.
Nice deep breath in. Arch that back up. Press those hands and feet out. And exhale. Let it relax. Whew. All right, everybody. That was the last one of our cool down stretches, which means this entire workout is complete. Good job, guys. We'll see you next time. I'll say it again. I'll say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
So boxer shuffling. You ready?
I'm ready.
First series?
First serious. This is how I run. Do your head too. Come on. That's crap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Side lunge, I'm a giant 60.
Ooh, side lunge.
Side lunges. Hi.
Alright, ready?
Want to do it like that? Let's do it like that.
Why would we do it like this?
Hey guys, it's Kelly and Daniel.
I
We're
thought,
the best workout ever! Hi Loki. Come here.
he just walks right in.
I own this joint. Hi Boo.
How you doing, pup?
Hi. Give me the butt.
Tail
The
attack.
tail.
Oh, thanks. That's disgusting. I have no idea what you've been licking.
I think you do know. Big belly, big belly, big belly. Oh. Hello. 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 Yeah. High five. Yeah.